Hi there. In this lesson, we'll be talking about mortgages and we're going to be calculating mortgage payments. When you borrow a mortgage from the bank, um, you are going to be interested in how much are you going to be paying monthly, or if you choose to pay weekly or biweekly. So we're going to dive right into it. I'm going to show you how to set up your TVM calculator to fncalculator.com. And I'm going to explain a little bit of the terms that you might have picked up from the previous lesson. And we're going to calculate some monthly payments from a mortgage, and we're going to calculate some interest. Also, I'm going to show you what is an amortization table and how to use it to read financial information. So let's just jump into this problem. So you are taking a mortgage of $210,000 at 5%. So usually what happens is the bank gives you a 5% guaranteed contract. You're probably going to have a fixed rate, or all calculations going to be fixed rate. That means the rate is not going to change. And usually the bank gives you a term or a contract where 5% is guaranteed for a certain period of time. 66% of Canadians use the 5-year term. And we're going to have amortization period of 25 years, meaning that you are going to be paying off your mortgage within 25 years. And the interest that you're going to be paying to the bank is going to be semi-annually. And that is actually the law in Canada. The banks can only charge you twice per year. They can't charge you per day. They can only charge you twice per year. So let's jump into our TVM calculator, and we're going to be calculating your monthly payments. So how much are you going to be paying for 25 years for this mortgage? So the TVM calculator that we used in the past can't do this problem, but the advanced version can. So click on the advanced version for mortgages. And then we have a little bit more options. So the present value, again, that's the mortgage that that you're going to have. That's the money that the bank is going to lend it to you. We are going to be calculating present value, the payments. The future value, eventually it's going to be up to 0. We're going to have to pay off after a specific 25-year amortization period. The annual rate is going to be 5%, and that can change depending on when you set up the term. The period, this is something that we have to calculate. So let's talk about the periods. So periods are the amount, in this case, not the compounding periods or no compounding interest, but it's actually how many times are you going to be paying your monthly mortgage for the duration of 25 years. So we have 25 years, and then we know that we're going to be paying it for 12 months or 12 times a year. And if you multiply this together, you're going to get 300. So that means you're going to be paying that amount that we're trying to calculate 300 times in the course of 25 years. Now, notice that the period is monthly. Compounding, it's not monthly, it's actually semi-annually or twice a year. So now we have present value. Notice it's positive. That means the bank is actually giving this money to you. Well, sort of. The money is not actually given to you. The house, the property that you're purchasing, is actually given to you. The payment we're looking for, future value, you want to pay that off after 25 years. And interest rate is 5%. Period is 300. That's how many times you're going to be paying that monthly fee. And semi-annually is by law twice per year compounding interest. So let's find our PMT. This is your monthly payment. And notice it's minus. So let's write this down. There we go. So our payment is $1,221.37. Now the next question is to find out, well, how much interest are you going to be paying over 25 years? So yes, you purchased a home and your mortgage is $210,000. This is the money you're borrowing from the bank or financial institutions, but how much money actually you are paying for it over 25 years? So the way we do this is that we have to calculate how much did you pay. So we know that we have 300 payments. We're going to multiply this by the amount of how much is each payment. And we're going to find out how much you've paid over the course of 25 years. So it turns out that you paid $366,000 and where's my comma? 411. So this is how much you paid, $366,411 for this mortgage. So what is the interest? Well, we'll take this amount and subtract it from our principal amount. That's the initial amount. We'll take that, subtract it, and we'll get, so there we go. We have interest paid of $156,411 for 25 years. So even though your mortgage was $210,000, notice that we're just basically $50,000 off, $54,000 off extra that we have to pay for this mortgage from the bank over the course of 25 years. One thing that I want to show you is that once you have a mortgage, once you are purchasing a house, there's a couple of things that you could do to decrease this interest that you have to pay to the bank. For example, you could do a bit of a down payment. Instead of having $210,000 mortgage, maybe you could reduce it. Maybe you could reduce it by $10,000. So it does make a difference over the course of 20 years. So let's take a look. So what happens if we have $200,000 instead of $10,000 borrowed? So $10,000 difference. So let's calculate our payments. So now it's a little bit less. And let's do this calculation as well. So here you go. We did some calculations. We're still paying 1,163.21 300 times. So this is how much we're paying 348,963 over 25 years. And then we're going to subtract from how much our down payment of $10,000 and the $200,000. We add this up. That's our mortgage and the down payment. This will give us the new interest, and the old interest was $1,506, and then notice that there is a big difference between the two. If you subtract it, it's going to be about $18,000 difference, just because you invested $10,000 initially into the mortgage. The other thing you could also do is instead of putting $10,000, you might actually increase the amount of payments. Instead of paying for a month, you could maybe monthly. You could maybe do it weekly. So let's see what happens when we change our periods into weekly. Okay, so we're going to erase our payments. There we go, payments. Now this will change. We have to calculate now how many periods we're going to have, and since there are 52 weeks in a year, we'll take 52 and multiply this by 25 to calculate how many periods or some payments you're going to have, in this case, over the course of 25 years, if we're doing this by weekly. So when you multiply 52 by 25, we're going to get 1,300 weekly payments over the course of 25 years. So it's still semi-annually. Interest can be compounded only twice per year. Let's see what happens with our payments. So the payments are definitely going to be smaller, but you won't be able to see much unless we do some calculations to find out our interest. So let's do that. Okay, so here are your calculations. We take 1,300 times your weekly payment. This is how much we have to pay for the mortgage. Now we subtract from 210. This is the money for the mortgage and the down payment, $10,000, and then it's a little bit off by $400. You could save $400 over the course of 25 years if you choose to pay it weekly. Now the other thing also you could do is see at the top we have an end or a beginning. Now the end is paying at the end of the month or at the end of the week, or versus the beginning of the week or beginning of the month. Now see what happens if you click on the beginning and look at this payment. This payment should shrink a little bit if we choose to pay at the beginning. So let's take a look. Oh, it has shrunk a little bit. So you could actually save a little bit more money by choosing to pay at the beginning of each month or week versus at the end. So you're still saving a little bit of money on the compounding. Okay, so that should take care of the FN calculator. I found VM calculator found at fncalculator.com. So to calculate your payments for your mortgage. Let's take a look at amortization table. So the problem in this one is we have the original principal of $200,000. We're going to change a little bit. We're going to have a loan term of 30 years, or your amortization 30 years. We have annual interest rate of 6.75%. Payments per year is going to be monthly, 12, and this is going to be our payments, or already was calculated for us. So I'm going to explain to you what this table represents and how does it work. So initially, when you get an interest, when you get a mortgage up to $100,000, you're going to have a set payments, fixed payments, and then you're going to have interest rates. Notice as you go down with the interest rate, as you are paying more and more than your loan, your interest rate is decreasing, or your interest payments are increasing. Your rate is the same, but your interest payments are decreasing as time goes on. Now, the principal is the amount that goes towards your balance. So the difference between these two, the payments and the interest, is how much money actually you are paying. So notice that as interest payments decrease, your principal that the money goes towards paying off your mortgage are increasing over the course of time. So let's take a look at some questions. How much interest and principal is paid in fifth payment? So in fifth payment or fifth month, we know that our interest is $1,121.09 just by looking at this. And our principal that goes towards paying off the balance is $176.10. Next question. How much do you still owe after fifth payment? So after fifth payment, so you made the payment on the fifth month, and this is the amount that you have still on balance, $199,129.28. What is the outstanding balance after 6 months? Same thing, except one step lower. It's $1,098.95, $2.18. So amortization table it definitely shows you step by step the decrease of how much you have left on your mortgage, how much interest you're paying monthly, and how much money goes from the payments that you have monthly goes towards paying off your balance of the mortgage. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed this lesson, and have a great day.